Hello, everybody. Welcome, welcome. Happy Monday. Welcome to this week's live stream. I'm your host, Ian Balina. Just like the good old days, it's May 19th, 2025, and we're going to go through and try to find some alpha live on Tokemetrics, live on the platform. Hope everybody's doing well. So we've got DJ and Brian in the house. What's up? Joshua in the house. Good to see you here. Jackson Crawford. What's up? Bitcoin 2020. What's up? Yes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Mic check. Hey, Myra. Good to have you here. Dinesh, what's up? All the way from the UK. Crypto AI, what's up? We're on. Yes. What's up, Walk? Let's go. Hope everybody's doing well. Hope everybody's making money in this market. The market has gotten a lot better. We had a stream, our first stream in over a year last week, and we're back at it again. The market has cooled off a little bit. We can see here, we'll hop straight into it with the market indicator. We can see the best performing bull signals at the moment. Launchcoin, 31x, up over 3,100%, 3,100%. That's one. Yeah, that's 1 grand at 31 grand. It's definitely made a lot of money. Very tough to catch, but it's made money. So there is money to be made in this market still. We have Saros, which is, I believe, a wallet project on Solana, up about 10x. Mudeng up about 4x. The meme coin is called the Shiba Inu, or the Dogecoin, or Pepe of Asia. It's had quite the rally. We have Unipoly, never heard of this one, up about almost 4x. Rect, up about 3x. So tokens that have recently turned bullish. The ones that stand out, Grass. We've covered Grass, done a deep dive on Grass. One of the blue chip large cap AI projects of this cycle. Their founder claims they're making 50 million annual run rate in revenue. They basically take data and resell it to the large LLM providers to help them with training. So think ChatGPT, Claude, they're apparently using their extension because we covered them during their airdrop. You basically have this little extension, you log in. As you can see here, I'm actually mining this. I've been mining this for a while, although I had turned it off, so I had to turn it back on. But basically, it's using your browser, your computer, to help train LLMs and monetizing it with tokens. We like it. One of the blue chip projects we like, but what I want to cover, the best daily performers. One of the projects we covered last week, I think last week on the live stream or on the webinar with our customers, was Collateralize. It's had quite the rally. We got in at about 22 million FTV. It went up as high as 60 million FTV, so almost 3x. It's up 90% in a day. So we'll cover that. I'll share my thoughts after the rally. We have KEBA up about 40%. It's a new L1, I think L1 EVM, Propy, an old school project, up almost 30%. This was a real estate project from back in 2017. I was actually part of their ICO. It did a 10x back then. Apparently it's pumping, so we'll try to see why that's pumping. Let's actually open this up. But first thing first, market indicator is in neutral. This was in buy, so it has declined. So the market is cooling off a little bit. If we just zoom in here, we can see in the last, so we're currently at about 3.4 trillion. So the market is cooling off, which is kind of surprising. Who knows why it's happening? From looking at crypto Twitter today, apparently they're speculating mortgage rates will go up due to the macro, the recession, whatever's happening. So it looks like the macro is doing something to the markets in equities and TradFi. Maybe our AI is picking that up underneath all this. But anyway, the market is neutral. So it's not quite risk on. It's not quite risk off. It's somewhere in the middle. Could be a healthy correction. Could be a healthy pullback. We'll look into it. Bitcoin is on a tear at about 105K. ETH finally had a rally at 2,500. And trending tokens of the week. Virtuous Protocol, we covered this last week. Blue chip AI project we like. Ohm seems to be bouncing back. Here it's trending. AIC, AI Companions, I've not heard of this one, so we'll have to look into this. But yeah, that's the brief market update. But one thing I do want to show down here at the bottom, well, here we can see the big sectors in terms of average sector grade. Stablecoin protocols have been doing pretty well. Apparently, there's a rumor today that XRP and Coinbase are vying to buy Circle, the USDC stablecoin issuer that was about to IPO and about to go public. They're basically speaking to XRP, Ripple, and also Coinbase about possibly being purchased for more than $5 billion. That would be a huge win. That would be quite the battle. I know a lot of people in the Ethereum camp are basically saying they don't want to see XRP buying the biggest, well, not quite the biggest. I think Tether is bigger, but the most blue chip institutional legally approved stablecoin out there, and putting the XRP brand on that. People will be rolling in their graves. If XRP does that, I mean, that's quite the win. That's quite the win for XRP and Ripple. But I think that's why you're starting to hear Coinbase now begin to kind of drop the name in the hat. Coinbase was known for being a co-partner of Circle. Then Circle recently purchased their shares back, or their equity ownership from Coinbase back, prior to them announcing their IPO. But it seems like now they're trying to sell to the highest bidder. So $5 billion, I think that would be up there in one of the biggest purchases for crypto company. I think there were a few. I think Bitstamp was maybe 200 million. I think Deribits was up there. I'm not sure if that was 1 or 2 billion by Coinbase, but now basically all these different platforms are basically just aqua hiring. The trend right now is crypto as a service for all these TradFi banks and institutions that want to get involved in crypto. They can just buy and plug and play different crypto services. And I think the big ones you're hearing, Coinbase, Kraken as well has been mentioning on their Twitter, crypto as a service. They're trying to kind of recruit all these platforms, all these banks, all these institutions that are getting ready for the Genius Act, which is being revoted on today. It's basically a stablecoin bill that will bring regulation and clarity to stablecoins in the US, which means imagine Bank of America, Chase, all these big banks can hold crypto. That'll be great. But they're not going to rebuild this from scratch. They're going to just either acquihire or go to a big platform like Coinbase or Kraken and just use their crypto as a service. So keep an eye out on that. All right, so let's dive into the tokens, right? So actually, I'll start with the indices, right? All right, here we go. So our AI indices go through and get the top ratings on the platform and build a diversified portfolio. So what they've been doing is basically they're super degen, right? When the market is bullish, they go into the low caps because that's where the big alpha is. And they've been loving these meme coins. Well, not meme coins per se, but I would say these low caps. Launchcoin is kind of a meme coin, kind of a pumped out fun version for founders launching an idea, believing in something. These have been in the indices, but the ones I mentioned earlier, KEBA has been in there. Collateralize has been in there. So we'll go straight to Collateralize because that's had quite the rally. So the signal turned bullish at 2 cents on May 10th, and it's currently at 6 cents. So up 3x. 3x. So it's currently at 63 million FTV. So we got in last week when we saw the signal on the indices at about 22 million FTV. So not too shabby indeed. Now, to be honest, we're still doing the fundamental review on this. This is purely a trade, a swing trade. But based on the platform, based on the trader gate was high, it's still high. Based on the bullish signal was the second point of confluence. And the third point, when we saw it was a low cap at about 20 million FTV, it was worth the Hail Mary. It was worth the moonshot. Obviously not with all the capital. Never invest more than 1% of your portfolio into any single trade, but it warranted the risk as a trade, right? So, and then I just went to the website, looked at it, Collateralize. We'll pull it up again. I mean, it's not the greatest website in the world, but the idea made sense. Tokenize everything, all in one application. So the way I explain it is they're basically building the combination of pumped out fun and moonshot for real world assets. What does that mean? right? So we'll say Moonshot is basically a normie retail friendly application that lets people buy memes with Apple Pay, right? It's in the App Store. So we'll actually just go straight to their Apple Store link. But it lets normies come in here and ape into meme coins using their credit card, their debit card, and it's done pretty well. They charge a lot of fees, but that's part of the normie experience. It's kind of like with Coinbase and Coinbase Pro. They're making it very, very easy from a user experience perspective to buy meme coins. You don't have to bother with creating wallets. They abstract all that using all the different tools out there like Propy Wallet and others. They make it very easy to just buy meme coins with Venmo, with Visa, with Apple Pay, and they've done very, very well. They were actually purchased by Jupiter, very bullish on Jupiter as one of the biggest DEX and perp exchanges on the inside the Sol ecosystem. Let me see, my Moonshot bought by Jupiter, and we'll just get info on when this happened. Yeah, so Moonshot kind of had its big claim to fame when Trump launched his meme coin, right? Because everybody was looking for a way to buy it, and all the normies wanted a way to buy it, and Moonshots made it very, very easy. So this was January 18th. They generated nearly 400 million in trading volume, and they reached over 1 million daily active users. That was like their Super Bowl, basically, right? And they made it so easy to buy meme coins. So the idea naturally makes sense, right? Kind of like how Coinbase made it a very easy experience for retail to buy crypto. Now you have all these other applications that are abstracting all that to make it even easier, where you don't even have to bother with creating a wallet, a key, a ledger, possibly getting hacked. You just log in with your Face ID, buy a token, kind of like you're on PayPal or whatever, and they handle all that for you. So the idea made sense, kind of like pumped out fun. And basically, they're doing the same thing with real world assets, right? Now, I'm not saying this is going to be the next great thing, but if you're bullish real world assets, I think as a short term trade, it made sense for us to put in 1%. Um, Now, I have not tried the application. I was trying to download it, but had some issues. But basically, it's the same thing, right? So I think at this point, it's up 3x. You can basically take out your initial, and the rest is basically house money, which is actually what I should probably do. Let me just note that down because we are doing this live. um, so just made a note to myself as well to take out the initial. But yeah, that's basically the idea. So let me just see the comments here and see what people are saying. Just give me 1 second here. Hey, what's up, Zakashi from Kenya, East Africa? What's up, Dante? Let's square. Soul Spark says altcoins dropped 80%, 90%. This is not a bull market. Yes and no. Don't view the market in bull market and bear market. View it in bullish trends, bearish trends, right? So, because if you look purely from a Bitcoin perspective, we are in a bull market. Altcoins are getting wrecked. It's not an altcoin. It's not altcoin season, but it's been Bitcoin season. But then there've also been altcoins that have made money. For example, meme coins. Meme coins have bounced back over the last 2 weeks. Same thing with AI agents and AI projects. So, and the total market cap as a whole has gone up relative to where it was last cycle. But you have to kind of factor that in. So I would look at it more as bullish trends, bearish trends. Okay, let's see here. Colette will be big. I mean, I don't know if it's going to be big, but it's definitely a good trade. Right now we're just swing trading this live on air, but we'll definitely keep you posted. Right? Basically, what I'm looking for is if this goes back to being bearish, definitely time to get out. And if this drops from strong buy to neutral or even sell, definitely get out. But I think at this point, it's sub 3x. Definitely makes sense to sell the initial and keep the rest as house money, right? So if you put in like 1 grand, you made 3 grand. You can take out 1 grand and keep 2 grand as house money for the rest of the cycle at that point, right? You know you won't lose your money because you've taken it all out. Not financial advice. But anyway, that's one low cap. That's still a low cap. We're keeping an eye on. I think now I didn't quite get the reason for the pump. One of our analysts said that this one founder from Solana was posting about it. So let me actually take a look here and see if there's anything we can find. This is the tweet. Some video. Okay, yeah, so that's pretty nice video. Let me see what. Okay, I guess it was a retweet. Wow. Okay, yeah. So looks like we got the founder of Soul backing this, which might explain the pump. I'll drop the link in the chat for those that want to check it out. Okay, so yeah, definitely gonna keep an eye on that. We like that. Some other tokens that are trending. We see here TokenBot, which is Clanker. Yeah, I've heard of Clanker on X. Is this the one where you tag something? Yeah, you tag something on Clanker or Forecaster. It does a token. It's up 23%. Trader grade is still a sell, although it's rising 10%. Signal is still bearish, so it hasn't taken off just yet. Although there's something happening here, so this might have a reversal in the near future. I'll say probably within a few days to a week. So we can keep an eye on this one. I'll just add this to the watch list by starring it here. But the other tokens on the list. So we had KEBA. Yeah, I've been hearing about this. I think this was on Elliot Trade's list on Twitter or something. High performance L1. Trader grade is high, strong buy, 96%. Signal has been bullish from 25 cents, it's at 84 cents. So it's done at 3x, up 46%. FTV is high, 836 million, 334 market cap. Yeah, I don't know if I would. And the token is on base. So they haven't launched their own L1 yet. Yeah, this would be just purely a trade. But I don't know if I would get in at this high of a valuation. Trade real world assets, compliance when it counts. Reminds you of kind of like an Algorand. I see former CEO of Google is an investor. I guess that's why he's pumping. Yeah, at this point, there's so many L1s. I don't know if we need more L1s. If you're looking for large cap L1s, last week we covered Sui. Sui, I think, is one of those formidable ones to keep an eye on. But I mean, if you're looking for L1s, maybe keep an eye on it, but I would not gravitate to that at this point in time. Grass we covered before. I think we mentioned it was going to be turning bullish based on where it was. and it turned bullish at about $2. Strong buy, although slightly down. If you're looking for a large cap AI project with fundamentals, this one does make sense. Um, then Launchcoin, the best performing signal. This was very hard to catch or to have conviction when it happened. It was such a low cap. It went from 1 cent to 22 cents. It has corrected over the last few days, but still up 11x in 1 week. Yeah, so it kept on going after we covered it. Um, I don't know if this is a long-term project. I wouldn't have the faith in this, honestly. But hey, trade it if you like it. Strong buy still, although I don't know if I would get in at this FTV and market cap. And then let's go to some of the trending projects. So here we've got Propy up 26%, bullish from April 25th at 71 cents. We said almost $1. Strong buy, slowly going up. Still under 100 million FTV. I don't know if they have any news coming out. We can take a look at their Twitter. So they're doing real estate on updates here. Okay, I'm not really seeing much here. Just Propy. Okay, see here, Altcoin Daily, I guess recently covered them, so that might explain the why it's up. Yeah, so I'm guessing that's why it's pumping. Then we see here trending as AI companions. Actually has a bearish signal, so I would not be trading this now, and it's a sell. So I guess it's trending because people are getting out. Looks like there's a flight to liquidity. Down about 15% in a week. So my guess is trending because it's going out. So we won't even cover this. And yeah, that's basically it in terms of tokens to keep an eye on. If we come here to our ratings page, which you can just go to Analytics Ratings, click top to get the top grades. These are the filters I've been using. This is what I used to find Collateralize, although it was also in the indices. Basically, 24-hour trading volume more than 1 million, bullish trading signal, FTV and market cap under 100 million, and then just look at the top trader grades, right? And it's number one. So our AI has been sniping, calling it. One other meme coin we have an eye on, we actually have a trade on this, is FWOG. But the rest are basically memes. Nothing's really enticing at the moment. Hence why the market's kind of cooled off, right? If we go to the trending tokens for today, looks like none meet my filters. Let me just reset this. So Launchcoin, KEBA, Virtuals, all the large caps, Hyperliquid we like. We had on the watch list Tau. Actually, we like this as well. We do have a trade on this. So all the ones we've been covering. The biggest gainers we already covered as well. So all these is kind of the same list. So Collateralize, yeah, that's basically it. Honestly, a little slow in the market outside of Collateralize. But let's go to the comments and see what people have to say. We can answer some questions. How many tokens this channel showed and going to zero? Well, I mean, we're swinging for the home runs, right? We're not batting for singles, right? And you just got to put on your big boy, big owl pants. This is crypto. I mean, nobody's gonna be perfect. What matters is when you hit a home run, it's a grand slam, right? And that's just venture capital investing, right? That's why it's not for everybody, but that's why we're here, right? We're here to make the big bucks. Because if you make 10 investments, you can literally have, let's say you have 10 grand, you put 1 grand into 10 investments, you can literally have 9 go to zero. But if that one investment does 100x, you just 10x your entire portfolio. That's the mindset, right? So of course we're not afraid going 9 for 10 if that one goes to 100x. That's the mindset. It's not for everybody, but that's the mindset. Okay. Hope all is well. Should I be dumping my seller? L2s, or are you still bullish? Not seeing much happening. Seller, I mean, seller is not, I'm not bullish at it at the moment. I think the market is just kind of really just focused on blue chip all ones, AI and memes and AI agents. There's been a lot of sector rotation. Seller was a low cap we liked. Let me pull it up and see how it's doing. So it's a buy, not the strongest buy. Turned bullish on 23rd of April. It's under 100 million market cap. I think right now the market is only giving a premium to new tokens. The old adage is true. Old products really pump. This is a good project, but it's not shiny. It's not sexy. It's not new. They didn't just have their TDE this cycle or this year. And that's what the market is giving favor to. So as a trade, but it's honestly, it's just kind of going flat, right? We can see here from really 2022 to now, it's just been flat, right? So this would not be what I would be gravitating to. We had this for a bit, but basically it's just been flat. So right now, I think it's better to be elsewhere. Just the opportunity cost. Tom says hype is my best investment this year. Congrats, that's what we like to hear.
We just landed on the moon in a Lambo.
Yeah, get that moon Lambo. Hyperliquid, right? Great project. We're looking into it as well, into possibly integrating or being able to bridge TMAI there. I think that'll be great. But love what they've done. If we put in hype and see how it's doing. Strong buy, even at these valuations, at almost $27 billion FTV. I think if you're looking for a large cap, which is in the top 20, that's basically your store value, right? Kind of like how people like to accumulate Bitcoin, or if you're playing in the Sol ecosystem, you sell your meme coins to Sol to get more Sol, or if you're in ETH, you sell all those meme tokens and low caps into ETH to get more ETH. I think you could possibly replace that with SUI or Hyperliquid as your store value. It's a large cap that's not going to be so volatile, but will still outperform the top 5 large caps. That's kind of the play. What about ARC, AI Rig Complex? We like this as well. We do have a trade on this. We had it back in December, did well, then market crashed and we sold out of it. Then we bought back in. Let's see how it's doing. It's currently a buy, not the strongest buy, under 70%. It's been bullish since end of April, but it's been kind of flat. FTV is low, 60 million market cap. So we're keeping an eye on this. We like the project, although it is moving a little slow, but it's one of those projects, I think, if you like Sol and AI agents, it's basically outside of Eliza, it's the premier, I would say, blue chip projects in the Sol ecosystem for AI agents. Are you still offering premium membership? We have premium plans. Just go to our platform and subscribe there. Parcel. We like Parcel. I've actually invested in it, and before they launched. Let's see where it is. They launched on Coinbase. It's one of those projects we like long term, basically bringing derivatives for real estate. It's real world assets project. Great for retail, great for institutional investors. Currently at 10 cents when it turned bullish. So it's a strong buy. If you're looking for a project in the real world assets space that will still be around long term, I think this is it. The fact that they have a good investor list, they have liquidity on pretty much major exchanges. I think this is a project that can survive this cycle onto the next. It's basically the poly market for real estate. and it's still upside. We got in at about 45 million FTV in the venture round. It did better. Let me see. Is this working? Yeah, it went as high as half a billion back in December, and then kind of corrected with the whole market. But we do like Parcel. Okay, Harley says Eigenlayer is my biggest bag. What's your opinion? Well, great tech. I just don't know if there's money to be made in Eigenlayer. That's kind of the Cliff Notes version of this cycle. Fidex can have great tech, but people have just had a revolution against low float VC projects. And we see here it's 2.3 billion FTV, 400 million, 46 million market cap. It's a buy, kind of like a weak buy. Token is bullish, but great tech, but I don't know if money's going to be made here. Honestly, at this point, I probably prefer Hyperliquid over this. It peaked at about 560. It's currently at $1.35. It's down 63% from all-time high, although it is up 61% in the last 1 month. But I just don't know if this is what I would gravitate to at this point in time. But if you like it, everything looks good as a swing trade. Okay, do we have any other questions? Let me know in the chat. Otherwise, we can probably just wrap things here. Make this very, very quick and short. The market is kind of in neutral. Not much is going on. As usual, you can go to our research site and newsletter to get more research from us. Did I get the right link? It looks like my browser is giving me an issue here. Okay, I'll check that later. But yeah, just go to research.tokenmakers.com. Let me know if you're having any issues. If it's my browser. We have our newsletter. And yeah. Okay, last question here. Any coins that are new that haven't had a bull run yet? Well, basically, the truth is saying any new coins that haven't had a bull run will rally and do well. Yeah, I mean, the market likes new tokens. That's just crypto. Crypto investors are pretty degen. They don't want to invest in the last pump. They want the new pump. They don't want to invest in the last 100x. They want the new 100x, right? So that's the name of the game. You got to find new tokens that are just launched, but they also have to have great tokenomics. So you gotta trade them. But like Collateralize, we like, but it's a swing trade. Has potential, but it's up 3x. I think you take out the initial, take some money off the table, and keep the rest as a moon bag. All right, we'll keep it short here today. That's a brief market update as usual. The moon is not the limit to the moon and beyond. Thank you, Tokenmetrics family.